Hey guys, guess what? It's day 31. Over the moon excited. I mean, if you've been following me this entire time, you know I'm a reformed quitter, y'all, and here I am, day 31. I don't do things consecutively. I quit things consecutively, and here I am, day 31, bringing it. And there's nobody on. If you're just joining, would you please give me a thumbs up or something just so I know you guys can hear me? Because it does occur to me that I want to make sure that you guys can hear me because you guys might be in my Bluetooth. So Jason, David, Jill Hare, let me know if you can hear me before I start. Uncle Ron, yay! All right, score. Thank you so much. All right, I have a blind dog walking around. He might be knocking into the tripod. Hopefully not, but if he does and it falls, you guys get to see my entire messy bathroom. So, welcome to day 31 of 100. Oh, you almost did. You almost did. So, if you're just following me for the first time, I'm Sherry Capella. You probably know that because my name's somewhere. But this is me sharing with you some of my journey of I'm reading a book for a class that I'm taking, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. And today is day 31, and y'all, it's gold, like with a capital gold, okay? Mom, you're online too. So today is day 31, and it's called Find a Place to Come From. If you ask me, that's a really crappy title. Because this one, Anton, this one is all about happiness. Now, I hope that I'm speaking to you today. And the reason I say that is because this one doesn't speak to me. A lot of these woke me up. This one, I hope, wakes you up because I was kind of just born happy. And trust me, there are days, y'all. I don't wake up. Hi, Patty. I don't wake up happy every day. But you know what? Since I've kind of woken up to what life is about, I find that I wake up happy more days than not. So I'm in a good space. And so with that, this one didn't speak to me, but it might speak to you. So I'm not going to skip anything. I'm going to just share everything with you because this might be a serious nugget that could open you up to a metamorphosis in your life. And after all, that's kind of what I'm after. So day 31 is find a place to come from. So the author starts by saying that most people think that in order they think about happiness and they think, well, I'll feel happy or I'll feel good when I've reached X goal. Like when I've lost 100 pounds, when I've found the man I'm supposed to marry, when I've, got the job, got the career, when I get the new car, when I get. They put happiness off until they've arrived. And happiness is not out there. But people think that they will find it if they're searching. And I just want to jump ahead to my notes, but I got to read this as the author has it. A lot of people put off their happiness until they've arrived at the goal. But what if you never arrive at that goal? What if you never actually get to what it is that you think is your destination? Linking happiness to something you don't yet have means that you're denying your power to create it. So if I'm not happy right now because my kitchen isn't remodeled and it isn't the kitchen that I want it to be, I'm making a choice to just say, well, I'm not happy because my kitchen isn't pretty. You see how stupid that sounds, right? A lot of people, and this is where I didn't jive with this. So I'm very interested in, hey, Michelle, I'm very interested in your take on this because a lot of people, the author says that they use unhappiness as a tool, kind of like a proof of their sincerity or a proof of their compassion. So if you think like when you're being empathetic, so like if somebody loses a loved one or if they go through a hard time, we feel like we can't be happy because if we're being happy, we're not being sincere for them. Does that resonate with any of you guys? I just am not drawing from a recent experience enough for me to be able to say, yeah, I agree with this. But the author says that that is false, that you can be happy and compassionate. That your happiness, you don't have to throw away your happiness just to extend compassion. And he also goes on to say that loving someone while you are in a state or in a phase or in a life of unhappiness does not show up as love at all. That you're not showing up as love if you are unhappy. Because love genuinely always acts the part. And that when you have love in your heart for somebody, it can play no other role. It just shows up as love. He says that a lot of people have learned that they've learned how to use and abuse unhappiness. Does that resonate with you? Do you abuse unhappiness? That it's the secret reason why people feel bad. And I just want to share with you a quick little paragraph of what he says in the book here. He says that these are the reasons, he made a list of the reasons that, secret reasons why people think that they should feel bad. If I feel bad, then it proves I'm a good person. What? Does that make sense to you guys? Or if I feel bad, I'm responsible. Does that resonate with anybody? I mean, maybe it's you. Maybe it resonates with you. It's just not a tool I've used before. If I feel bad, it means that I care. And again, that's probably the empathetic, situation. Maybe if I feel bad, it proves I'm being realistic and I'm aware. If I feel bad, it means I'm working on something. So you can see how, obviously the author's done a lot of research in this. And if any of those things resonate with you, that if you feel like you're maybe using unhappiness as a crutch or as a tool, then it's time to start questioning that. Happiness, he goes on to say, is your birthright. It doesn't depend on any achievement. You need to claim it, okay? No different than if somebody called you and said, we found a bunch of money with your name on it, and you don't claim it. Happiness is your birthright. Claim it. You need to start making your self-motivation fun all the way, not just at the end when you arrive. So, for example, right now, I don't fit into half of my clothes in my closet. I'm not happy about that, but I can be unhappy about it, or I can just wear the clothes that fit and start working toward my goal. So instead, I'm just kind of wearing the clothes I fit. I got to put up with my kids always saying, Mommy, how can you always wear that shirt? Well, you know why? Because Mommy's working on her goals. I'm working on it. But I've made a decision that I'm not going to wait until I fit into those clothes to be happy. I'm going to be happy during it. I'm going to wake up every day and do it because I know that weight loss is a way of life for somebody once they've reached my age and they're dealing with all the responsibilities and blessings that I have. So I realize it's part of what I'm going through right now. So now my notes. This is where I'm preaching, y'all. So just sit back, relax, and see if any of this resonates with you. I have a question for you. If you're a parent, sit down because this is some truth bomb right here. How much do you love your children? Think about your child. When they were born and they're growing up or you're raising them now, think about your babies. Do you want them to be happy? Do you ever look at them and think, why is she so upset about something somebody said to her? Doesn't she see that she can just ignore that and be happy? Do you think that your child should only be happy when they've achieved that goal? Should your kid, when you look at your kid and say, you know what? You haven't graduated high school, so you don't have any right to be happy. Or, you know what, son, I don't want you to be happy until you get your driver's license. Or I don't want you to be happy until you don't deserve happiness until you get into that college. You don't deserve happiness until you make that cheerleading goal. You don't make happiness until blah, 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 blah. No, you never think that for your child. So you always think you want them to be happy during. So if you want that for them, why don't you want that for you? Think about it. If God is your father and you believe in God, he wants your happiness the same way you want your happiness for your baby. So how can you teach your child to genuinely step in and own their birthright of happiness if you're not living it and doing it as a perfect example? Perfect is relative, but I just thought that was like a real gotcha, way to help you see that happiness is a stinking choice. Happiness is not a destination. It's not something you arrive at because you've accomplished something. That's just our society, you guys. Wake up and see that you're in the matrix. Realize that, you know, we're just in a culture that tells us that achievement equals happiness. Wrong answer, okay? Breathing equals happiness. Seeing it as a choice is what you have right now. You have the power to choose differently. Choose happy. Come on, you guys remember that song by that guy in the 80s or something about don't worry, be happy. It's that simple. Happiness is a way of life. We were meant to be happy. If you're not, it's because you're trying too hard. You're thinking too much. Okay? Stop it. If you're unhappy, you are out of alignment with the world, the way that the world was intended. You're out of alignment with your Creator. You need to start focusing. Okay, so some people would say, okay, Sherry, Miss Life Coach, how do I get back in alignment? How do I get happy? You know, I got all these bills, I got all this crap. Well, start with gratitude. Start with the basics. I firmly believe this quote is the quote I posted today on Facebook as it to me was the life lesson of 2017 for me. Happiness is not what makes you grateful. Think about that. Happiness is not what makes you grateful. It's gratefulness that makes you happy. Just look around at what you have. Look at what you have to be grateful for. That in and of itself is enough to make you happy. Think about it. If you have your health, if you have abundance, if you live in a first world country, if your floor is not made out of dirt, you have everything to be grateful for, which begets happiness. And here's one thing you just need to remember, that happiness, how do I say this? The journey is the destination, okay? Life is not about arriving. Life is about living. And so if we're supposed to live and not just arrive, then start living happy, okay? It's just a choice. You hold the keys to your happiness. When you die and you go to heaven, God is not going to say, okay, it's time for judgment. How were you on the day you arrived? Oh, I was great. Everything was perfect. And then I became happy. No. The journey is the destination. Life is what's happening right now. You have that choice. It's like some magic power you have. You have the authority to make yourself happy just by seeing that you hold the key. Happiness is your choice. And if you're not happy, it's because you're overthinking it and you're making the wrong choice. And so I'm very hopeful today that you might realize that you have the choice to make yourself happy. Just find that in order to make yourself happy, start by being grateful. Get in an attitude of gratitude and realize that right now everything around you is reason enough to be happy. That thing that you're working to achieve is not where your happiness is. Your happiness is right now with every breath. All right, everyone. There you go. That's day 31. See you on day 32. Bye.